and welcome to Issaquah Buzz, where we talk about all things business in Issaquah, from new restaurants to retail gossip. My name is Autumn Monahan, and I work with the City of Issaquah's communications team. And I'm here today with my favorite coworker to gossip with, Jen Davis Hayes, who works in economic development. Good morning, Jen. How are you?
Wonderful. We have some really good news today, don't we?
Yeah, we've been experimenting with kind of how often we do the Issaquah Buzz podcast. We did a couple, breaking news stories recently around Burgermaster. And we're finding that, when we do a podcast once a month, we're missing a lot of the breaking news. So we're experimenting today with just hopping in for a minute just to share some exciting news about a business that's open, not do a full podcast, but just update the community about something exciting. So without further ado, it's Egg and Us. which had a soft opening last week, and you and I happened to be driving by together and popped in. It was so exciting to see that they were doing a soft opening. It sounds like all they did, Jen, was just turn on the open sign, or light up the open sign. Yeah. And that's all it took from our community to just fill the restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, when we were there, it was full. And again, It was a soft opening. And I think on Monday, the Veterans Day was when they officially had the opening happen. But wow, it was packed last week.
Yeah. So my family went on Monday on our we all had the day off. So spent the day having brunch. There was a wait. It was amazing to see just how full the restaurant was. And I swear it was like a who's who of Issaquah. Former Mayor Fred Butler was there with his wife. Robin Kelly was there, who ran Salmon Days for decades in the community. Anyway, there was a ton of community members there, all very excited to welcome Egg and Us back to a reopening. It was delicious once we did get a seat. So a lot of the menu is the same for those that may remember it before. We had breakfast. I had the chilaquiles, which is sauteed tortilla chips with eggs and onions and kind of an enchilada sauce. So good with hash browns. Yeah. And really good fresh fruit and just like all the classic breakfast items. It was delicious. And my favorite part, though, was probably the never ending coffee. So I don't know how many cups I had.
That's why you're smiling so much today.
I know. What's your favorite item?
I'm an omelet girl. And so I love just different types of omelets. The Popeye is one of my favorites because it has the spinach, so it's a little healthy, right? And the cheese, of course, and some salsa. So it kind of adds a little bit that I don't know, spice, but little different taste. So. Yeah, and then hash browns.
The owners are not new to Issaquah. They also own the 12th Avenue Cafe, so I'm glad that they continued on. And we should reflect back to what happened. So it was back in May of 2021. I remember receiving the phone call just as we were working through emergency response that the Egg and Us had a fire, and actually there was two fires that happened sequentially in a very short amount of time, where they were required to close the restaurant. It was a really sad time.
Yeah. And so it was that restaurant and the nail salon that was next to it that were pretty much needed to be gutted and completely torn down. So we've been driving by a empty space for quite a while. So, but one of the things I want to, talk about with our viewers is, so it's been, 3.5 years, and that is a long time, but there were a lot of steps in that. And so it kind of gives a little glimpse into how challenging it can be for businesses that, get a bump in the road. And this is a big bump in the road. They had to deal with insurance. Different insurers were arguing for a bit about whose responsibility. So that took about a year, it feels like. And then, of course, rebuilding. I mean, when you look at it, it looks almost exactly like it was, right? And so making sure that they were able to, outfit the location with exactly what Egg and Us needed. Of course, they did upgrades to, all the things, but pretty much it looks the same. And so with that permitting process, there's also construction. It's been really hard to find, general contractors to do the work and supplies. And anyway, so this is something, we always talk about, oh, here comes a business. And we're like, oh yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, it's here, right? Again, just lots of little steps that business owners have to do. And this one was a lot more. So we're so excited that we could help support them through this process. We've always made sure that that they're, as much assistance as they needed for the permitting process and anything else. And we'll make sure to do a ribbon cutting soon too. So.
I think that's what one of the things I love about our podcast is just that you provide behind the scenes around what it takes to have and run a local business, especially one like this that had such, a huge challenge to get through. I'm amazed, Jen. I went back and looked. We talked about this at our second ever Issaquah Buzz podcast 2 years ago. I know. So we've been covering this now for a while. So really excited that they're back open and that our community is quickly supporting them. Another quick plug too. So it's not just breakfast, I should mention. They're open 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. They have really good lunch items too. Soups and salads and sandwiches, some really yummy looking toasts and some kind of grain bowls with quinoa. So a lot of good options for lunch too, just for anybody looking for another lunch spot in town. So make sure to check them out and support them as they're reopening. And we're just so happy that they're back here in Issaquah. So stay tuned. This is not our only Issaquah Buzz for this month. We've got a lot of discussion to go through when it comes to holiday shopping. So stay tuned and we'll see you soon. If you have questions about Issaquah businesses, send us an email at ed@issaquahwa.gov. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.